Hey guys, here we are back again with another lesson. This is going to be the last lesson before your Unit 2, sorry, my bad, Unit 1 test. It'll either be Thursday and Friday or it will be the beginning of next week. All right, so in this lesson, we are going to compare and order rational numbers. Okay. Now, the last lesson you guys learned how to convert fractions, decimals, and percents. So you need that information to be able to do this. Okay, and I'm going to hopefully remember that I'm going to stop and have a bunch of short little videos, short videos as opposed to a long one. And if you understand it after watching a few videos, then you don't have to watch them all and you just can go ahead and get the work done, and I can come around and help anybody that needs help. Just let me know. Okay? All right, so we're going to start with number 1 on your paper. If you take a look, we're going to convert everything to decimals. Okay? We're going to go ahead and list them from greatest to least. Okay? That's always, oops, I spelled that wrong. All right, that's probably always the easiest way to do it. It's just always go from greatest to least, and if you have to go from least to greatest, you can. Okay? All right, so we're going to start over here with the 1/5. All right, well, last week you learned how to divide. Remember the inside, outside. So we put the 1 on the inside, the 5 on the outside, but you look at it, it's like, wait a minute, 5 won't divide into 1. You can't get 5 out of 5 pieces of candy out of 1 unless you break it up. So what do? We add our decimal point and a 0. Let me go ahead and change this and make it a little thinner real quick. Oh, it is. Okay. All right, so now we look, and so now we have the number 10 we're going to work with. So 5 times what is 10? Well, we know that 5 times 2, oh, we forgot to move our decimal point up. So we're going to move our decimal point up. So we know that 5 times 2 is 10. So we're going to subtract 10 minus 10, and we have 0. So since we have a remainder of 0, we're done. So we're going to come over here. We're going to go ahead and put 0.2 on our grid right here. So we're done with that one. Done. So now we're going to move over to the scientific notation one. So I've already written the the 1 and 5/10 times 10 to the 5th power. So if we remember, we're going to go ahead. I write the 1 and the 5, and our decimal point starts here, and we're going to move 5 places to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to go ahead and throw in these zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the blank spaces. Remember, the decimal point ends there. There's our decimal point. And then we're going to go ahead and write those digits in. I'm just going to write them backwards. That way I don't have to count everything. Okay, so more than like, that's a pretty big number. That's 150,000. That's a comma. Okay, so now we're done with this one. And we'll go ahead and move to 15%. Well, I went ahead and wrote that. I wrote that because I know that 15%, if I got a 15% on a test, it means I got 15 right out of 100, which is not too good. So I know that it's 1500s. Well, how do you write 1500s as a decimal? Well, I know that 1500s is written this way because there's our tenths place and there's our hundredths place. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. And notice I'm putting them on the grid paper in the same exact order, so that way it'll make it easier for me when I go to see which one's the biggest to the smallest. So I'm going to go ahead and write my 0.15 right here. All right, if you're not sure about that, remember you can always reduce it. So you can divide both by 5. Okay, so 15 divided by 5 is, well, no, that's not the way you want to do it. Never mind, forget that. Hopefully I'm not confusing you. But if you can't do it that way, you can always go inside, over outside, and those are some big digits that you'd have to deal with. So I don't know if you want to go that way. So I don't even want to show you that way. And then finally, our last one's already done. So we're just going to throw that one in there. 1, 5, 5. Hopefully you're doing this along with me. And now what am I going to do with these blank spaces? That's right, I'm adding zeros in these blank spaces. And I'm just going to go as far as those, because I don't think I need to fill in these blank spaces, because we already know that 150,000 is bigger than all of them. So this one, oh wait, that's in our second row. So that means this one is the biggest. Let me erase that. Okay, so the second one was the biggest. We're done with that. We're going to scratch that bad boy out. And so now we go here. Well, we can't tell from that column. So we look at the next column. We have a 2, a 1, and a 1. Well, we know that 2 is bigger than 1, so that means the very first one that we put on here was 1/5. So this is the second largest. We're done with that bad boy. So now we come back to the same column, and there's still 1s, so we can't do anything with that. Come to the next one, we have 5s. We can't do anything with that, but we sure can with the third column over here in the thousandths place. And 5 is bigger than 0. This was the fourth one that we put in there. So this one has to be third, and then the only one left is 15%. So if we're going to order them from greatest to least, there you have it. So you should have that on your paper. You should have done the work with me. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop this one here and then move on to number 2. I would really love it if you can try to do number 2 using the example from number 1 to see if you can do it. And if you can do it without having to watch, then you pretty much got it. If you got to watch, that's okay too. I'm going to be walking around. I'm going to be helping you. Just let me know, and I'm there. All right, I'm out for number 1.